Welcome to the Modern Mompreneur Podcast. I am your host, Day Smith, owner and founder of Simplicity by Day, and here to curate a beautiful conversation for all mompreneurs. I have today another beautiful mompreneur, Aleya Harris, out in sunny California. Aleya and I met in our networking group, The Dames, and we hit it off. She is just a whole vibe, all good energy. She's a new mom. She's a very successful business owner. And has a very unique way of doing things. And so I wanted to bring her on the Mod Mom Pod to share her story. So welcome, Aleya, to the Mod Mom Pod. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me, Day. I am doing fabulously today. Fabulously.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, this has been a long time coming. I think we had a few scheduled meetings and life be lifing because I know I was like,
Life
oh,
be
wait,
lifing. Well, that
life,
is the mompreneur life in a nutshell, right?
right? I think that was made for us. That's how I say it. We claiming it, right?
Yep,
Okay.
claiming it. Claiming it.
Yes. So I'm gonna officially, you guys. So Aleya Harris is a CPCE. She's gonna tell us what that means later. She got an alphabet soup behind her name. But CPCE is the spark for your spark. She is a powerhouse StoryBrand certified guide, a bioenergetic business consultant, an empire building CEO of the Evolution Collective Inc., host of the Radical Rebirth Retreat LLC, and host of the award-winning Flourishing Entrepreneur Podcast. She is an international award-winning speaker and committed to helping entrepreneurs, executives, leadership teams, and thought leaders differentiate themselves through radically authentic strategy coaching and training. So give it up for Miss Aleya Harris again. Woo! I need like a
Whoop, whoop,
round
whoop.
of
I'm going to give it
applause
up for
sound effect.
myself. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
You got to clap for yourself. Yes, yes. So tell the Mod Mom Pod, Aleya, who are you in your own words and who you serve?
My purpose here is to love people into the highest version of themselves. And all of the things that you named are just methods for me to be able to do that. So whether I'm working with people one-on-one in consulting, whether I'm speaking from a stage, which is my most favorite thing to do, or doing corporate wellness initiatives or hosting a retreat, my goal is to help you rediscover your radically authentic self, translate that into a story that is uniquely yours, that you can be proud of, that differentiates you from everybody else, and help you better connect with yourself, your team, your audience, as well as with your overall mission. It's about getting real with yourself, getting clear, and then getting connected. That is who I am and what I do.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. So are you, would you say that you're pretty radical yourself? Like, what's your radical story?
Radical. I don't mean I'm not
Radical.
burning bras and picketing over here, but I do definitely have a unique story all the way from starting as a marketer, just hanging out, doing marketing things, getting laid off, becoming a private chef, working for celebrities of music and film, and then transitioning to work as a corporate head of marketing for North America for one of the largest corporate food service and facility management companies in the world. And then to being an entrepreneur, I've kind of done a little bit of everything. And in that very circuitous journey, I knew I was where I wanted to go and wanted to persevere on that path when I was helping people have those aha moments when they realized that they could do and be more than they had given themselves permission to do and be. And I realized I was off track when I wasn't helping anybody, when I was just like, oh yeah, we made money, whoop, 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 whoop. But that was it. Because, I do know how to make some money, right? So like I've made millions of dollars for companies. I've gotten return on investments of over 500%, but that was great, but it's even greater when I can do that for a thought leader or a company or a team. And they then have the skills within themselves to go and do that and more moving forward.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, quite a journey. All these different jobs you just spit out a few minutes ago, very different things, and has all led you to be right here and serving people the way you do. one thing that I liked about you is that in the midst of having a successful business, you completely uprooted and changed the game on us. You know, you were Flourish marketing, and now you are doing something a little bit different, and you also are incorporating bioenergetics. So tell us more about that.
So I would love it to be like, yes, I just said one day I'm going to do it, girl. I'm going to do it. But that's not what happened. So what had happened was my daughter is 11 months old. And so she was born November 7th. At the time of this recording, it is October 10th. So she is just shy of her birthday, her 1 year birthday. So during the postpartum period, I had extreme postpartum depression and anxiety. It was very difficult for me. Luckily, I had support and help, and we navigated through it. And if I'm very honest with you, I still have days where I have no motivation, or I'm really sad, or I'm really hard on myself as I'm coming out of that postpartum period, which most of you moms out there probably know. The thing that most other people don't know is that the postpartum period lasts for about 2 years. So I'm still in that right now. And while I was in that, because I'm type A and an Enneagram 3 and I have an Aries moon, I'm just going to push through. So I was in Goldman Sachs's 10,000 Small Businesses program in, we're going to say, March. And in that program, it was when I realized that I was not building the foundation for the vision that I wanted. What I was doing was I was twerking it strange for some change because a girl needed some money because I had a baby and all these other expenses.
Not twerking.
And I was like, what do you need? You mean to market that? I can market that. You mean to market that? I can market that too. You want me to market this other thing? Let me market it. Like, right? Come on.
Yeah, all the things.
And so I was doing the things and making the money and running myself ragged, just trying to keep up while feeling like I was drowning. And in the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program, it allowed me to take a second to breathe and refocus on the vision that I wanted to have. And my vision is to be Oprah big. What does that even mean? My vision to be Oprah big is to be able to love people into the highest version of themselves at scale. And obviously look fabulous and make a lot of money doing it. That's the goal, right?
Of course.
But it's to be elevated and highly visible. But then I looked at the company that I had. Flourish Marketing is a great company. But first of all, I was in Flourish Marketing doing way more than marketing. I was doing a lot of strategy work, a lot of consulting work that was not just marketing.
Yeah.
And second of all, I was already a speaker. I already won awards and done all this stuff, but I wasn't really creating a platform for my thought leadership brand like I would need to do to become visible. So I looked at where I wanted to go. I brushed off my vision because I was not vision oriented. And so I was just doing stuff and running around. I brushed off that vision and I said, okay, is where I am now, if I look at where I am now to where I want to go as like different stair steps from here to there, am I on the first stair or in the middle? Am I on the right path? Am I even on the same stairwell? And I wasn't really. So I had to change some things around. And if that's you, where you look at where you want to go, first of all, remember where you want to go. What is your vision? What do you want 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years from now? Where do you want to go? And are you on that path? Are you building that foundation? For me, I had to pivot to building up more of a personal brand. So I revitalized and re-implemented aleyaharris.com, which is for my speaker brand, because I was an award-winning international speaker. I love doing speaking. It's my primary revenue source, but there was no website for it. I was just like attracting people because, I mean, I am really good. So people were just booking me based on
that works too. That works too, honey. Listen, I'm not mad at that.
So I was like, okay, but that's word of mouth is only gonna go for so long. I need to start giving people a place where they can find me in addition to my podcast and all this stuff. So I built out aleyaharris.com. then I was already doing bioenergetics and combining energy healing with business strategy and storytelling to help people communicate their radically authentic selves and a shared narrative so that they could tell a story that attracted more clients and built better cultures that helped them stand out from the crowd. I was already doing all that, but it was called Flourish Marketing. And when I was in Goldman Sachs program, they were like, well, the name of your company is confusing because it sounds like you do marketing, but you actually really are not. You're doing strategy, executive coaching, corporate wellness, all of that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh. So luckily, Flourish Marketing was a DBA of Evolution Collective. So all I did was just stop using the DBA and just started using the Evolution Collective instead.
Got it.
There was
Okay.
I just shut down website, built another one, and we rode off into the sunset so that I, again, was building a foundation. One of the best things that I did, and it was part of the experience with Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses, was I created a graphic for myself in Canva. I mean, it's not like some of you going to put on a t-shirt and rock, but it's a graphic of the vision, the full ecosystem of where I am, what's at the center, where are the branches, when are my plans to add these on, right? I created a 5-year pro forma, which means a 5-year projection of revenue with each revenue line and expenses. And like, okay, so that means I'm going to be able to add on these types of services or not, or how am I going to grow, what am I going to do? And there's a graphic that represents it so that I can anchor my vision into a visual. My Oprah big vision has a visual that's not just a vision board, right? So I created that and I formed everything all around it. So now I'm on the right stairwell. I'm moving up the steps and I'm building something that I know on the down days, on the hard days, on the days where I'm like, well, what am I doing? I'm like, no, this is I just knocked back a rung or knocked down a stair, but I'm going to be Oprah big and I'm on the right path.
I love that. I love that. So going back to what you were saying about, you talked about giving yourself permission. Cause I know a lot of moms, they get it, they are on the track and they may be, whether they're in business or not. And they get to a point where they say, wait, am I doing the right things? Like for my goals, first of all, having goals outside of the house, outside of raising your kids, outside of your career or your husband, but your own goals for day, for Aleya, for whoever. And then saying, okay, how do I get there? Like creating a plan and really pursuing it and not being afraid to take advice from your mentors and shift. And I heard someone say recently that you cannot see the label because you're inside the bottle. So you were thinking you were doing great things, Flourish Marketing, but you were also doing all these other great things that you did not have visible. You didn't have a website. You weren't talking about your speaking and strategy. Because, Flourish Marketing sounds like you're going to help me with web pages and funnels, which is great too, which you were doing. But you can tell when you're speaking about this, that's not your passion. It may be a part of doing things for people, but it's not what lights you up. And you can tell that. So I love that you
That's
made that
absolutely
shift.
right. And now
Yeah.
I don't have to talk to people. No one comes to me now and asks me, can I do their social media, which is what everyone always came for. And we did do social media. And I also want to say too, that sometimes you leave things because they're working and sometimes you leave things because they're just not right. So Flourish Marketing was a business that I made $250,000 in 6 months. Like when I first got started, and we just kind of rode on from there. So it was not like, oh, I made $20 and of course you're going to jump ship and try something else. It's not that it was broken. I could have kept doing what I did to make that. And yes, we had dips and we had problems and I made lots of mistakes I am still paying for. But if I could have just been like, okay, but what did I do to make that? Let's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And I would have slowly been dying inside.
Okay.
So it's not that just because you can do something and you know how to do something doesn't mean that you should do something. Most mompreneurs, I mean, you know how to cook with one hand, be listened to a podcast, and hold a baby in the other, right? Like you can do all the things all at once, but that doesn't mean you should all the time. I mean, sometimes you have to, but it doesn't mean you should all the time. I am a Jill of lots of trades, but that doesn't mean I have to be. And the more focused I've got, the better. Let me give you an example. So I had a client, I still have a client, who is, she has a course, and then she's building up this beautiful business that we worked on a strategy for, where she works with clinical research professionals. She's another mompreneur. She has 2 babies.
Mm-hmm.
She works with clinical research professionals and teaches them how to be better, just simply.
Okay.
And she had this course, but she also has this other revenue stream that was really making the money. And so she was just like doing random things with this course, like playing around with the course.
Yeah.
And the course was selling, but then she would like, well, now I'm going to buy this thing. And then I was like, let's stop. Let's look at your P&L, like just for the course. And at first when we looked at her P&L, she goes, well, I'm going to make this money from here. I was like, no, we're looking at it just from this course. It's supposed to be a standalone business.
Mm-hmm.
How much money are we making? Right? And it was very eye-opening, and it got her to focus. And I had her write, like she had one of those huge Post-it notes, and I had her write on there, sell the course. If it didn't help sell the course, we're not doing it. Right?
Yeah. That focus.
And that was the beginning of a beautiful conversation around focus. And then, pot calling kettle black, I looked at my own self and I was like, oh, you doing the same thing? You're all over the place. You're doing all the things. So I say, we got to focus. So then I went back to that pro forma I was telling you about, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I have multiple service lines and things that I could do and built this out, but of percentage of revenue, what is, I ranked the service lines by percentage of revenue. And I said, okay, well, this is one that I could make the most money at. And I was like, but when I said it, this is where some of the energetics comes in. When I said it, I was like, I can make the most money at it. But, and as soon as I said next, then the next line underneath that was speaking. I was like, ooh, because I love it. I love it, love it.
Yeah.
And it's an easy lift. I love putting together presentations. I love being from the audience. I love it, love it, love it. Yeah. So I said, okay, her sign that she has on her desk said sell the course. Mine says get the gig. If it doesn't help me get the gig, I ain't doing it.
Don't do it. I love that. I love that focus. Because we do sign up for all the things. I need to talk to myself up and have this conversation, because you kind of have that shiny object syndrome, and you see what other people are doing, what other moms are doing, and you think, oh, well, she did this, and they're making this money, and got to get into this and got to get into that. And you can get into things, like you said, that are revenue generating, right? Like you can do the websites and make the money or whatever it is, but it doesn't feel right. And I feel like if you lean into what feels right, like using that intuition, you'll pour your energy into that, and that will make you profits, but you have to be strategic. Like you didn't pick nothing way down on the list either. I didn't
go way down at the bottom of the list.
Didn't go to the
this
bottom.
Is going to be 2% of my projected revenue. Let me do that. No, we didn't.
No. So it's a balance.
It's a balance.
It's a balance. Yeah. She's like, I'm just going to go right here because I can't. Yeah, I like that. So you touched on a little bit the energetics. Tell us about that. Like when you mentioned that on the call, I was like, what's that now? What is bioenergetics?
Thank you. Thank you for circling me back. So bioenergetics is the study, detection, and correction of the energy systems that surround and penetrate a living system. So many people have heard of traditional Chinese medicine. You have your meridians, you've heard of your chakras, you've heard of your auras, you've heard of, good vibes, the person just has good vibes. All of those things are just energy.
Okay.
Right. So, and when you look at bioenergetics, I look at all of it together. I use multiple modalities to help people work their energy and get their energy into alignment. It could be meditation. It could be oracle card reading. It could be using a pendulum. It could also be this software system that I use through Ness Health, a bioenergetics wellness system where we use to detect things that are out of alignment. Could be just conversations and spiritually driven insights. The point is, though, that when you are only operating from a place of, I got to do this thing, I got to make 10 sales calls a day, and then I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it. You're going to run yourself into the ground, you're going to be burned out. As opposed to, my goal is 10 sales calls a day, but let me use my intuition and flow into who I need to talk to. Or if I
Mm.
have a strong feeling like, well, maybe I'm not supposed to make this call today, but I am supposed to go to this networking event today. And you feel into it, you use the energetics to move forward. Because what happens is when you negate the energy, how you feel in your body, the things that you need to excavate and remove from yourself in order to get clear, when you ignore that side of it and you power through, you end up making a lot more mistakes and spending and wasting a lot more money.
Yeah.
You already know how to do this. And I don't know, I tell people this all the time, but if I'm really honest with you, Day, I'm like in a new version of owning that I'm a successful human being. I had a session with my spiritual coach. Every coach should have a coach. I had a session with her when she said, "And you feel like you're lying." And I said, "No." I was like, "What are you talking about?" "Maybe I do. I don't know. What are you talking about?" And she goes, "When you get up on stage and you talk to people about the things that you've done, you feel like you are lying because it feels like somebody else has done that, or that you didn't really do it. It just happened." And I said, "Yeah, you're right." She goes, "You are successful.
Wow.
Own that you are successful."
Mm.
And when you think of the things that you do, or let me keep it to me, when I think of the things that I've done, I'm really good because I have a spiritual background of saying, well, that, by grace of God, God did it. I was just there for the ride or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that negates the actual work that I've done and negates me owning the accomplishment. So it robs me of my confidence and makes me feel like in tough situations, especially, I can't get out of them because I haven't done anything in the past. I haven't overcome. God overcame for me. I didn't push forward. God pushed forward. I'm just here batted back and forth. And that's not the case. God does God's part. You do your part, but your part is still very important. God can't move unless you do. So those successes that I have, I needed to own. I had to actually start writing them down and be like, you know what? I did do that. I have booked the highest paid speaking engagement that I ever had when I got more focused. I have made $250,000 in 6 months. I have made multiple millions of dollars for other companies. I have. And I looked at it and I said, I am successful. I am. And once I had that revelation, my energy shifted. The conversations I had were different. Yeah, I might do a sales call. I might do some outbound outreach, but I come at it from a different place, knowing that I'm just trying to find people to partner with, not begging people to work with me. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
There's an energetic shift around that. But until
I
you
love
own your
that.
successes, you can't get there.
I love that. So it does start within. And yeah, I really like that because I feel like a lot of times, especially is when we don't give ourselves credit for our work that we're doing and we leave it all up to chance and especially the part about not being able to get out of it ourselves. Like it's not within us to be able to push forward. And you brushed over this, but I thought about how you said you at 6 months into your business, you changed your business 6 months after having a baby. Like little mama was born in November. Little girl, yes?
Yes.
No, and in March, you got into the Goldman Sachs. That's only like a few months away. And
I
then
don't
you
know why.
completely
I don't know
shifted.
what told me. I mean, I was at lunch
That is a
pumping.
big deal.
I
I
was
know
at
you
lunch
were. That
pumping
baby is still
my
little.
boobies out.
Yeah, yes. And then you shifted and focused and have taken off. That right there in a year's time, that takes a lot mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And that, I mean, I'm glad you recognize that now being a success. And I hope any mompreneurs listening to take inventory of the things that you've done in the midst of having kids, in the midst of raising a family, and building a business and being a good wife and who knows, a caregiver for your parents or whatever it is, because we know that that's a part of our lives as well. But I love that you shared that to take inventory, and I like this pro forma that you created, this very strategic like plan, and it's visual and you have it up there. So those are really great ideas for mompreneurs to take and run with it for sure, or any business owner really. to
Yes.
do that for
Yes.
themselves. Yeah. So I want to switch gears to talk about your life as a mompreneur, because you have a 11-month-old. You were a successful business owner before you became a mom. What has been some shifts, some changes that you've had to make as far as managing your business and continuing to give it what it needs, and also continue to be present for your daughter?
There's several things. So Um, so before I had my daughter, while I was still pregnant, I was launching a membership. And that membership was supposed to be my maternity leave.
Okay.
It failed miserably, failed launch. I was screwed. So I have yet to take a maternity leave. I would like one.
Oh.
I
Can I
have
get one of
yet.
those?
I'm trying to get one of those. I have yet to take a maternity leave. And if that's you and you're a mompreneur, I feel you, girl. But I also applaud you because you're doing great. Whatever you do, whatever bills you might have, whatever bills you didn't pay, whatever bills you're scared of paying, you're doing great because you're still going. So that was terrifying for me because I'm like, oh my, well, there goes that. And I had a C-section too, so you had to take time off. I had to, physically had to, but I really only took like 2 weeks, maybe a week off, maybe 2.
Yeah.
And I didn't hit it hard after that. That's impossible. But I did start tiptoeing back into it. My first speaking engagement was when she was 3 months old.
Okay.
And I was still working with other clients before then, right? And the transition was rough. I had a doula before we gave birth, and well, shoot. I like how people say, "Oh, we're pregnant." No, I'm pregnant, and I gave her. You are a great support. I love my husband, but no, again, talking about owning your accomplishments.
I accomplished that part.
I accomplished that.
You pushed that baby.
And after I gave birth, our doula stayed to help. And then we transitioned to having a nanny. So we have a nanny 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday. And that's the only way I'm able to do anything. My husband works outside of the house. He's a director of research at a university here in LA. And he had to go to work eventually, right? And so it was about managing my time. She's here from 8 to 4, so I plan everything from 8 to 4, and I got really keen on time blocks and Calendly. So and holding to the time blocks, because it's one thing when you have a meeting with somebody else, you're like, oh, I'm not going to move that meeting. And somebody else wants to meet with me, I'll work around what I already have on my calendar. It's another thing when it's just a time block for yourself. We move them a lot. I stopped. I stopped doing that. Unless it's a pretty clearly revenue generating meeting, I do not have meetings on Mondays or Fridays. Why? Because I need time to record my podcast. I need time to do, it's creative work, strategy work. I need time. I need the time. I only have meetings Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I block off, well, this is the time, and I don't have them all day, right? So I protected the time that I do have, because at 4:00, unless I ask my beautiful, wonderful nanny to stay over, I adore her, I gotta go, because we have between 4 and 6, me and my daughter. 1, I want to spend time with her, and 2, she's an incredibly active child. So we go on a walk every day for 2 hours. We cover about 3 miles a day.
Wow.
At 4:00, I gotta be ready.
She ready. She probably it's like, Mom, where you at? It's time to go.
Where are you at?
Come on,
they
climbing
up the walls.
Wow.
And so I'm like, well, let's go. And then I had to make a decision, and I'm done. Once I put her down, and my husband comes back, usually comes back because of the traffic in LA, comes back after she's already down. I'm not working anymore. It's time for me and my husband. That's another time block. It's about setting boundaries. People always talk about setting boundaries like somebody else is going to break over them, and we feel all like, yeah, somebody else is going to break my boundaries. I'm going to set up boundaries. No, you know damn well the person that breaks your boundaries the most is you.
You're the problem.
You are the problem. So I had to stop being the problem. No, I'm not going to work. The work will be there. And I had started removing stuff. I use ClickUp for my organization system. I removed stuff from my ClickUp. I removed stuff from my calendar. I started removing stuff because all of it was a distraction. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to get the gig, girl. I do not need to talk to you about this other thing that's random. Or I will talk to you, but I'm going to shorten that meeting to 30 minutes. I'm going to push it out for a month because I don't have time for this. I'm trying to get this gig.
Ooh,
and I'm trying to hit these monthly financial goals that I've set for myself. And I can't do that if we over here kikiing about nothing.
Yes, I
and
love
I only
that.
got from 8 to 4, Tuesday through Thursday to talk to you.
You better make it work. You know, I've talked to some moms, and one word I've picked up is ruthless prioritization. That was one guest, Rebecca K. She's in Kenya, Nairobi, and she said that that's what she does. She has 3 little ones, works full time as a director. She's a big time deal over there. And she runs a productivity business. And she's like the same thing, ruthless prioritization. Like, I cannot do the things. We have to make it work, you know, within my finite amount of time that I have. And you're right. We're the worst at moving things around because of what we think is more important. So if you don't take anything else away, set boundaries for yourself. And as Aleya said, time block. Like, make sure you set that goal for yourself every day and follow that for yourself, because that's the only way you're really going to focus in and achieve your goals. So I'm all here for that. I love it. I love it. Good.
Yes,
Well, and you're
especially
raising.
because as a mom, the goal was not to take more time away from your kids. That's not my goal. My goal is I have a clear plan where I'm planning on working and being an active, fully booked public professional speaker for 5 years. After that, I plan on riding out on these investments that I'm making into real estate, into other brands as an angel investor, right? I'm not trying to be mommy stuck in an office for my whole child's life. That's not okay with me. If I wanted to do that, I might as well just go get a job. It's a lot less stressful. It's a lot less stressful having a job.
Yes. There's much easier ways to make money than running a business.
Much easier ways to make money than running a business.
I love that. I love that. You said that, a clear plan, and 5 years, you know, you don't want your kids to be like, Mommy's always at the computer.
No, mommy's at the computer. Mommy's gone. Where's my, no.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. So great tips for moms. So let's transition to our last part. It's the lightning round. So the lightning
round. And I
round.
talk a lot, Dave, so I'm gonna try. Okay, here we go. I'm ready.
We're good. So whatever question I ask, the first thing that pops in your head, spit it out. You don't even have to explain it if you don't want to. You can just make it quick and punchy if you'd like, whatever you feel. Okay. Whatever feels right in the air energy. I'm practicing
Okay, sounds good.
All right. 3 words to describe you today.
Energy, driven, and confident.
Absolutely. What would you tell your 18-year-old self today?
The number one thing I think I would tell my 18-year-old self is, you look amazing. Stop it. Stop hating on everything that is you, and realize that this is probably the skinniest, fittest you will ever be. So love it.
Love it. It's still beautiful. What does it mean to you to be a modern mompreneur?
It means being able to not do it all, but realize what lights you up as a mom, and being able to make the decision to do that and have it be lucrative.
Love that. What do you love about being a mom?
I don't know if it's about being a mom, but I just love my daughter's laugh. She has her first little 2 front teeth. And when she laughs, her whole face is filled with joy, and I'm filled with joy, and we giggle and we cuddle, and I don't know, I just love the joy.
Oh, I love that. Okay, what are you reading, watching, and or listening to?
Okay, so I have a confession. I used to read and love to read books, but we just finished talking about that prioritization situation. I ain't
Mm-hmm.
got time for all that. So what I
Okay.
did is I stumbled over this really cool app. It's called Imprint. And I think it's relatively new. I don't know. It's new to me. Yeah, Imprint. And what it does is it takes popular books and knowledge and puts it into a format that feels like Instagram. So you use your thumb and you tap through it. It has words and images and animations. So you get the core idea of books and the core
Wow.
concepts in like 15 minutes a day. So
Imprint.
that's Imprint. And so I just finished,
Imprint.
I've already read Simon Sinek's, like read the actual book, Start With Why, but I went through that. Atomic Habits, I really just love because that gave me an unlock for lots of different areas that was kind of unexpected. And the Lean Startup, I just did that. I mean, this is all in like
Mhm.
the past week because you can go through it so quickly. And
Oh, nice.
there's a 7-day course in there called The Science of Happiness, which I am on day 6 of, which has unlocked a lot of things for me around what exactly is happy. Am I happy? Am I having fun? All of that stuff and how to have more of it.
I love it. Imprint, like INPRINT.
Yep, IMPRINT.
And it's an app.
It's an app. I mean, it has a 7-day free trial, but it is a paid app. But for me, it's worth it.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna have to
It's
check
better
that
than
out.
scrolling through Instagram mindlessly.
Exactly. That part. Imprint. I love it. Learn visually. Who thought of this for people like us?
Exactly.
This is why I
Exactly.
love the podcast, because I'm telling y'all give some great tips of things I would have never heard of. I've got all the good movie tips, books tips, podcasts, and now I'm about to download Imprint. You should send me an
Download
affiliate
Imprint.
link. You have it.
I wish I had an affiliate link. I do not.
Darn it. I was like, put that in the chat, girl. Okay. All right. Last question. What is bringing you joy right now?
In addition to my daughter's smile, I like I said about that feeling of confidence, I'm getting a lot of joy in that. It's almost like a little high. I don't know how to describe how I was feeling before because it's not like I was unconfident, but right now, like today and yesterday, I did some inner work and I did what was called programming. So I wrote down a sentence, a scene, like 4 sentences of what I want to have, and I said it without stopping out loud 100 times. And after that, I just feel like I can do anything, and that is giving me a lot of joy, a lot of release, a lot of freedom. I'm riding on that high, like let's do this thing.
Yes, I love it. There is power in that manifestation words. Put it into your subconscious for sure. I love
Yeah,
that you shared that. Thank you for the lightning round. Great motivation, great tips, great definitions around modern mompreneur, and then that last thing about just that confidence boost that you've been giving yourself. It's like a gift to yourself. I
it
really like that.
is.
I love it.
Really
Well,
is.
thank you, Aleya, Miss beautiful Aleya Harris, for all of your insight, telling us about your journey into running a successful business and now raising a beautiful family and really creating the life that you desire. That's what you're doing. And that is
Yeah.
something you need to add to your list of things that you have successfully done, is create
Yes,
a
yes.
life.
I'm adding on. I'm adding
Please
on.
do. That's probably one of the most important things. So, thank you again. I'm so glad you were able to make time in your Tuesday to Thursday 8 to 4 schedule, ma'am. Yes, to be on the podcast. And please let everyone know where they can find you.
You can find all the things about me and links to that at aleyaharris.com, ALEYAHARRIS.com. If that whole energy thing, you're like, that sounds good, where the heck do I start? I have a free guide for that. It's about 25 pages with exercises and details to know if you're in alignment, if you're out of alignment, and what you can do to rectify that situation at aleyaharris.com/recalibrate. It's a
Okay.
recalibration guide.
Recalibration. Okay, great. We'll put both your website and the free guide in the show notes. And we'll also link your podcast as well so people
Thank
can
you.
join, follow, and listen in. you can tell she's a lot of great energy, and your podcast is the same. You'll definitely want to dive into and binge listen to your podcast as well. But thank you again. Thank you guys for listening, for being a part of this mompreneur community. And thank Aleya for just sharing her love and sharing her joy with us. And so all you mompreneurs, always remember to give yourself permission to live out your full dreams. So until next time, you guys be blessed. Bye.